One more thing I should mention. You can create an activity from a blank page as well. You don't have to create it from the pre-made activities. And it works the same way. So if I go into picture view and I decide I want the kids to do something about my favorites, and especially with younger kids, you want to, if you have it set up, the more you have set up, the easier it is for them to work with, especially if they're new. So maybe you just want to say the my favorites and you want to give them the categories of favorites. Like you want to know about their favorite books and you want to know about their favorite movies. And it's kids, so maybe you want to know about their favorite video games and maybe their favorite singers. You could customize this however you want, and when it's done and you've got the template or / activity that you're ready for the kids to use, you do the same thing. You go to the teacher menu, you go save through Activity Wizard, and you can go through the whole thing, selecting the symbol libraries if you want. I'm not going to go through that again. If you don't select anything, it'll show them all the libraries. Picking the symbol library that you want to appear first, formatting the text, formatting the writing view, and it's saying activity name my favorites. It picks up the main idea. You can change it if you want. What's this going to be in? Well, I may be having them write a paper about my favorites, so the category will be reading and writing, and then save as activity. So once again, you can alter an existing activity or create your own. Pretty neat, huh? Let's take a look at the different activities as Kidspiration calls them. You might be familiar with the term templates. There's different templates under these 4 different categories that you can use with your students or alter them. Just click on one of them. Whichever one is selected, it'll show you a little description in the bottom of what it is. There are a lot. Look how many are just in reading. So just say you find one that you're interested in using, like writing a personal narrative. You click on it and click OK. What it does, it opens an untitled document. So it opens up a copy of the document and the original is saved. If you're happy with this, and this is exactly what you want your kids to use, you don't have to alter it, and when you use it, you just say, okay kids, we're going to reading and writing and personal narrative. But just say this doesn't speak to exactly what you want and you want to change something. Like you want to make these a graphic. You want to change the color for some reason or the type of symbol. All the formatting applies just like you format a regular Kidspiration document. So maybe I want to make these symbols bird bubbles and I don't like the color. So I want to change the color of them for whatever reason. Okay, so you can do any of the things like we learned in the picture view here. It also translates into the writing view as well, so you could change things in the writing view if you want. Once you have it altered, and I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time altering it because we talked about formatting, you can save this as your own activity that is customized for your students. How you do this is you go to the teacher menu. And if it is not enabled, which means it's all grayed out, these choices are grayed, and you don't see a check mark here, just click on Enable Teacher menu. It says you can add a password to the teacher menu to prevent students from changing the settings. To enable password protection, choose Application Options from the teacher menu. I've never applied a password, but you can if you want. Click OK, and then you're going to do Save with Activity Wizard. That's going to create this document, personal narrative, into its own new activity, customized. So most of these things you can just next through. One important thing is the symbol library. If for some reason you don't want all the libraries to show, because maybe you're dealing with younger kids and you want to give them less choices, you can go to selected libraries and go through and decide, well, which are the libraries you want your kids to see for whatever reason. Maybe it's just the characters one from the language arts, and all you have to do is pick select, or characters 2, or stories. You can pick as many or as few as you want, or you could just leave them to see all libraries. If you've decided to make your own symbol library, just go down to custom library, like that dogs and cats one, and added as well. So whatever libraries are here will be the ones that your students can access when using this activity. So a great way to cut down on kids having to search through the 3,000 different icons, you can pick the ones that you want them to search through. Then you click Next. Here it'll show you which one is the first library that's going to appear. For if you want one of the different libraries to be the first one that appears, just pick a different one. Here's where you can change the default symbol colors if you want to. So if they're going to just create a plain symbol, you can change the color and the line thickness and the arrow. You do not have to do any of this if you don't want to. The kids can format themselves. Go to Next. You can change the default font. You can change the default size of the font. You can change the text color if you want something that maybe shows up better. You can make it bold by default. You can make it italic. So these are all the default, how a symbol is going to appear. That does not mean you cannot format them. And I'll tell you again, you do not have to change any of these. Go to Next. Same thing in the writing view. What color is the paper and the different lines? I know it's a little extreme, but it gives you all the options that you can have. Now, this is the important one. Activity name. You want to make sure it's not going to be named the same thing as the original activity, because if it is, then it's going to overwrite the original activity. So maybe it's a personal narrative. You've got to think of a different name. So whatever you want to call it, even if you want to call it personal narrative, custom. I might name it something different so the kids don't by accident click on the personal narrative one that you don't want. So maybe it's assignment personal narrative. Whatever you want to call it, you just type it in. And this is the other important feature. Which folder, activity folder, do you want it to appear in? Reading and writing is the default one. If you've created something for social studies, make sure you click in social studies, and you'll see right down here the category. I do want this in the reading writing one, so I'll click reading and writing, and it says category reading and writing, and I'm safe. Now I can click save activity, and it says a new activity has been created. Great. So let's take a look in reading and writing. There it is, assignment personal. I click on it. There it is, change the person, change the bubbles, and it is untitled. So your template stays, and your kids can use this one and save it. Just a couple of things. I do want to make sure you do explore through the different activities, because there's tons in math. Bar graphs, arrays, reading, fractions. There's tons and tons and tons. So instead of reinventing the wheel, before, if you think of an activity, think of something that you want to do and look through the different topics. You never know what you're going to find. Fractions, adding and subtracting, making change. Take a look. Make sure you take a look. I'm going to go again, and you can do the same things with the math ones, so you can alter them if you want. So if I want this to be a different problem, I want it 5 plus 2, 21, 5 plus 2, and then I can add another color symbol there. So you can, any of these activities you can format for yourself. Just remember, teacher menu, it even says save as math activity. So activity name, this is great. It's different in math. You can name it what you want. Make sure it's just not the same name. And it automatically is putting it in the math activities folder. So the math ones know they're going in the math activities folder. So there's less steps with all the formatting. If you're doing one in a picture view and writing view, it's going to give you all those steps through formatting, picking the different colors if you want. And just remember, name it something different, and make sure it goes in the right activities. Math kind of cuts it out for you. So I could just name it adding some more and click OK. It's going to tell me a new one's created. I click OK, and if I go to math, there it is, adding some more. So the one that I changed is there. Please make sure you understand about saving the activity, the importance of naming it. You find it in the teacher menu. Review this video if you need to.